I wanted to kind of record to just talk a little bit about my backstory. So, or at least like the backstory to how I started making six figures in a season. So for me, I was running my store, running my business, and people started to know me for prom season, doing gowns, continuously high quality gowns for young women in my city, right? So in Philadelphia, and then I would also do online too. So I got known for it, and then that season became my busiest season. So I started doing, let's say, 20K, 30K, 40K in just those 3 months alone, like between March and June. And of course, leading up to it, January, February starts to lead up, but really March to June was always like my peak. And then after proms were over, I started to notice a change. You know, like the items in my store, like the everyday items, weren't selling as much, and the money wasn't coming in the way it was those previous months. Now, of course, I know that some stores have busy seasons, and that's always good, and you want to encourage that. But for me, I kind of was just like, okay, well, what can I do to change this? What can I do? So I started to promote birthdays and promote birthday dresses and red carpet events and do work for celebrities and try to have influencers come in and just really fill my other months with more of what I felt like would boost those months with sales. And it didn't really happen. So basically, I started to get depressed. I started to feel like, all right, well, what am I doing? You know, I made 10K this month, 20K that month, and now I'm only making 1,000. And at the time, maybe I felt like, oh, well, now I'm a six-figure brand. This money is going to come in the same way every month, and it didn't. So I started to be depressed. So July, I was sad. August, I was sad. September, I was sad. Because I really identified with how much money I was making. Probably like most people. I would feel like, oh, you know, what's the point today? I'm not going to make any money. Or, oh, it's sad, people only want me for this. Or, you know, nobody cares about these birthday dresses or these short dresses or these red carpet dresses, or celebrities only want stuff for free, or they all want a discount, or it has to be rented or whatever. And in the previous months, in prom months, I'm making, like I said, like 10K, 15K, 20K, and more year over year, and it just was not translating. So I was trying to figure out multiple ways to get the other seasons to be fruitful. And I started going to therapy, you know. Outside of other things in my life, I just realized I cannot go throughout life. I live a very blessed life, right? I'm a business owner. I'm in control of my own schedule. I can go on vacation whenever I want. Why am I so sad? And it really turned out to be like, when I had a low sales day, I was feeling low about myself. When I had a high sales day, everything was fine. I was happy again. And then, but you notice in your non-busy season, you have more than 15 bad sales days in a row. And those became months. So my therapist suggested that I stop equating my value with my business's value, or how much money I had in the bank account, or how much money in sales my store made that day, week, or month. And to kind of just figure out how to enjoy life, just in general, you know, enjoy life. If you're having a slow sales day, why don't you go for a walk? Why don't you hang out with friends? Why don't you spend time with family? All of these things. So I was like, okay, I'll try. And I started to realize, oh, like, I can take a week off. I can take 2 weeks off. I could actually take the whole month of August off, honestly, because it's a slow sales month. If I start really saving in my busy season for these slow months, I could take those months off and then get back to my busy season when I'm busy. Matter of fact, let me try to double what I made in my busy season. Let me try to triple what I made in my busy season. So I started to figure out, okay, I'm going to, if I made 40K last year, let's say 2017, I'm going to go for 80K in 2018. And then I did it. Then I'm like, okay, if I got 80K, that was a 40K increase. I only hired one extra seamstress to help on the side of me. Let me hire 2 extra seamstresses and some interns, and then I'll try to go for 120K 2019. So did it. 2019, made around 120K just in those 3 months. Took several months off. I think I took August and September off. Now, keep in mind, I still own a retail store, which is open weekly, like 5 days a week. So on the months that I'm not really working hard in my brand, in my Monica Monique brand, I'm still going to the store every day just to open it and have walk-in customers and sales in that way. Which I have a wholesale collection of clothing from different designers and jewelry collections and etc. So it's like a regular boutique, so people can walk in and get what they're looking for, like a regular women's clothing store. But meanwhile, I'm usually in there just behind the desk on the computer, learning new skills, practicing making Shopify websites or Squarespace websites, or adding something new to my press kit or media kit or etc. So usually when I go into my boutique, I'm really just in there studying. And that's what I do every single day. I go in there and I hone in on the skills that I think will make me a better person, or make me a better business owner, or make me a better speaker, etc. So outside of prom season, that's what I'm doing. But as far as the Monica Monique brand, I wanted to make sure that that brand had a core message and a core focus, and it just turned out that the core that I loved so much was making these prom dresses and being influential in these young women's lives. Speaking at career days, meeting them, having one-on-ones with them and their moms, and kind of talking to them about what colleges they're applying to, or if they're doing college at all, or maybe, you know, getting them an internship at other businesses. If they said they are interested in dentistry, okay, I know a dentist down the street, maybe I can set you up with an internship over here. So it turned out that I really was engaged in helping that community. So 2020 came. And as you all know, March to June is my busiest time. And the pandemic came in March. So again, I had been done with depression at this point. It wasn't a reason for me to feel sad. I knew that my happiness at this point was not related to my business, was not related to how much money I made, but related to me finding enjoyment every day out of this beautiful life that I have created. Okay, so events are canceled. I have a whole bunch of fabric I know how to sew, so guess what we're doing? We're making face masks. And I gave them away for free because I didn't think it was going to last that long. So I'm like, 2 weeks. I'm not doing anything anyway. I can't sit at home doing nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'll just make face masks. So I would drop off a pack of 20 face masks to grocery stores, because you know they were working really hard back then, especially during that time, like grocery stores, hospitals, teachers. I would drop off 20 packs, 50 packs, 60 packs for free. And eventually, when it went past 3-4 weeks and it looked like this was going to last a while, I was like, oh, I need to start charging for these 10 packs, 20 packs, whatever. So, and of course the people were okay with paying money because they would just tip me and all this stuff anyway. So they started to do that, and I started to make a lot of money. Even online, I started to make a lot of money doing face mask sales, just out of either prom fabrics or fabrics I had in the store, or because my store is on Fabric Row, which means I'm surrounded by all these fabric stores, I would get different cottons, and I would research different medical materials that made your face mask safer for you to not breathe it in particles of COVID, etc. So I ended up doing that for 2020 up until, I want to say, September. I really had a thriving business of just making these 5-10 packs because I didn't want to do the one-on-ones. Like, okay, yes, sure, you can get one face mask for however much money, but I felt like it was more important to give them multiples because different days of the week, I mean, we were wearing these so consistently, it was easier to have an assortment to switch out from. Either way, so that happened in 2020. 2021 slowly got back into it, but I ended up making probably around the same as 2018 that I did in 2021 because some schools still weren't doing that. All to say, in 2022, when I got back to doing the 6-figure prom season, I had a lot of time to think about how I wanted to do that. And it pretty much turned into, you know what, let me see if I can do 3 months of working hard, my busy season, make it even busier, and then what if I take off for 9 months? What does that look like for me and for my brand? And it turned out it looked pretty much the same. Instead of focusing on those months of sales where it was low and maybe being sad or whatever, it was more like, where can I go? What trips can I plan? What events can I do or speak at? It really turned into an exciting time. I was like, okay, well, let me plan to go to Dubai. I went to Dubai for a whole month in the summer of 2022. Literally got there end of July, didn't come back home till September. I ended up going to the Maldives by myself for a week, having a good time. Where else did I go? I went to Milan, Italy at the top of January 2023 and went there for 2 weeks. But all that to say, I started to really feel like I have the hang of this, you know? Now I can plan for my rest of the year during my busy season. So I started to squirrel away. Again, that spring of 2022, I started to really squirrel away how much I was making. So if I made, let's say the store made 140K, right? Now, a portion of that is going to fabrics and materials and paying the seamstresses. So let's just say, knock 40K off, right? I'm left with 100K. My bills and etc., like my apartment rent combined with my store rent, etc., let's say that is another 20K, right? Altogether, that's 20K. And then, so now we're down to 80K. Now we gotta take off some taxes. Let's take off another 20K, right? Let's take off another 20K taxes. Now, is that math correct? Probably not, but whatever. Take off another 20K. Now we're down to 60. 60K of a spending budget for 9 months is a lot of money. My vacations usually cost, let's say, a hotel or Airbnb stay for a week or two. For me, I'm not going to pay more than like 2K, maybe 2K for a week or two. Then food, I don't believe in eating. I don't care about food. I know some people are foodies. Y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but I am not a foodie. I do not care to try the finest creme brulee or French toast or steak in other places. I'm cool with a hot tea every morning, you know, a croissant for lunch and a bowl of fruit for lunch, and then dinner, a taco or two, or rice and chicken, or like flavorful stuff. But I'm not into, and I don't gotta eat dinner every day. It's not that deep to me. I know some of y'all are like, what? You don't gotta eat dinner every... No, I would prefer not to. I eat to stay alive, to be honest. Not necessarily for enjoyment. Like, I could literally go without having all of these meals. It takes up too much time for me, and I'd rather just be going for long walks and seeing the sights than sitting somewhere stagnant eating. It's just not my thing. I'm sorry. So my food when I go on vacations, or my food budget is very minimal. It's not that deep for me. What else? But either way, so that was 2022. I did it again in 2023. Made even more money. Started speaking about the experience I was having by doing this 6-figure season, and but by doing this 6-figure season, and then really kind of telling people like, oh, this is possible for you, you know, especially if you're in the same category for me, because I can tell you how to do it, right? I can tell you what I'm doing to get the things and the goals that I'm getting. Give me 1 second, because my nose is getting on my nerves. So I started to realize, oh, this is a thing. Like, I can tell people making 6 figures in 3 months is not even that hard to do. Have you calculated how much stuff is? Now, think about it. So for me, my specific category is like bridal, wedding, prom, special event, gowns. Gowns specifically. Now, those are usually between $1,500 and $3,500. If I sell, so let's go with 2K, right? If I sell just 50 gowns in a 3-month period, that's already $100K. Now, let's say we could take off 25% for fabric and materials, so that's still $75K. That's more than what the average person makes in a full year. And I just did that in, what, 3 months? That's still wild. Now, double that. If you sell 100 gowns for 2K, that's $200K. Again, let's take off 25% for fabrics and materials and maybe seamstresses, whatever, people who I pay, $50K. So now that's $150K that I made in 3 months. Again, double, triple what the average American makes in a full year. And you can't do that and enjoy your rest of your life. For me, I felt like I couldn't. I wanted to be able to do those numbers in all 4 seasons, right? I wanted to be able to do those same numbers winter, spring, summer, fall. But you know what I realized? I'm young. And life is short. And I would rather save my money during that 3-month period, spread it out. I still always have more than enough to pay my bills, go on vacation, eat where I want, dress how I want, do what I want. But I also have more than enough time to spend with my family, to spend with my grandparents, spend with my siblings, spend with my nieces, and possibly find the love of my life, possibly get married, engaged, have kids. I don't want to work the way I work during prom season. I don't want to work that way all year. That's just me personally. I think making $150 to $250K in 3 months and then enjoying the rest of my year is a pretty good setup. It's a pretty good setup for me, because I really am being thoughtful with myself about, okay, Monica, you need time to find the love of your life. You need time to date. You need time to practice new skills. You know, sometimes I want to go to a pottery class. Am I good at pottery? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. I want to do all the little kitschy things that the YouTube influencers do. Go to like a yoga class and Pilates on a Tuesday afternoon. And I can do that because I'm thoughtful about where I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing, and am I happy? Am I leaving space for me to enjoy my life? And I feel like my 6-figure season has left me space to enjoy my life. Yes, I could go hard all year. I could figure out a plan. I could profit on bridesmaids and do more weddings and do more of this. And I will eventually get to that when I have a bigger team. But for now, I'm really comfortable with how my life is set up. And I want you guys to be comfortable too. So if you want to do that, if you want to join, if you want to figure out how, if you want to do the calculations, if you want to figure out what can work for you and for your fashion brand, let me know. I'm here to help. You know, I have the podcast, 7-Figure Fashion Business, that comes out every week, sometimes twice weekly. We also have the Patreon, where I'll give you tips and resources on how to do everything, but not as detailed as the one-on-ones. Now, again, I have strategies. Now, I've started writing stuff down in 2021, like, okay, how can I do this repeatedly? And now I've got it down to a science. I think this is mostly for my prom season, custom gown, wedding season clients, I think, or designers. I think that you are who I can speak to more specifically, but that's what worked for me. For me, I needed to figure out a way to both enjoy my life, have my free time to spend with family and friends, and do what I wanted and explore life and find out who I am and find out what I like and find out what I love and still do what I'm passionate about, which is design. But this 6-figure season setup for me, I feel like a lot of people need to be doing it. Why are you working 24/7, 365? Well, you could just do 3 months and then have 9 months up. I feel like everybody should do it, especially, again, those who are younger and want to have the time to explore. You don't need to be a millionaire to be happy. You need to be financially stable. You need to be financially free. You need to be secure. You need to have food on your plate and clothes on your back and a roof over your head. But it doesn't take $1 million, $2 million, $3 million to do it. And it definitely doesn't take staying up all night every single day, working hard every single day, every single week, for every year on year on year on end to have the life you want. You don't have to do all that. I promise you, it's not that deep. You can find your 6-figure season, market that season all year, go ham during that season, take the rest off. Market, keep rolling content throughout the rest of the year. Look at my page. That's what I do, right? Roll that content throughout the rest of the year. Get your audience warm and ready every year for your busy time. Do the killing then, and then relax. Let me say this real quick. When I'm not in my 6-figure season, I'm still making money off my brand. Now, you know I have a boutique as well, and a podcast and etc. But those are lackadaisical things. Like I said, when I go to my boutique, I'm just in there studying. I'm chilling. The doors are open. Walk in, shop. Let me know when you're ready to ring up. But I'm studying my craft. I'm studying my business. I'm looking at different things. I'm enjoying my life. Sometimes I'm just watching Sherry Shepherd or something random on YouTube. Something funny. It's lackadaisical. It doesn't take work. I'm chilling. With my business, my 7-Figure Fashion Business podcast, we record once a month on Mondays. We record 4 episodes. Those episodes come out throughout the month. We go back, record 4 more. Sometimes we do extra so we can have it in a log. Again, if in the off season, I'm only working once a month for my podcast. I'm only doing things that I want to do. And then I still get online sales for my brand. I'm just not doing all that custom work. You can buy from my website, and I get orders, let's say twice a week, right? But an order twice a week for something that's $2K is still $4K a week, which is still, what, $12K? No, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16 a month. That's kind of crazy.